Well, what I wrote today basically was that as great as Max is, he is going to need to adjust to all this and adapt to all this. And when I say all this, I mean the sticky stuff rules and I mean the pitch clock, which he's been raising concerns about, and not unfairly. What happened yesterday, obviously, we heard all the different versions, right? The umpires had one version, Max had another. But the one thing I'm not sure that Max totally grasps is that rosin isn't necessarily legal. And there was a memo sent out to all the clubs in spring training that said if rosin is misapplied or used excessively, then it can be considered a foreign substance. That is what the umpires determined yesterday. Now, the other part of it that was curious from his perspective is that the only rosin you're allowed to use is the rosin in the bag behind the mound. That's pre-approved by the umpires and a league official, and that's okay. Max said he was applying rosin with alcohol underneath after he had to clean himself off, and that too could be considered a violation because that rosin, in that sense, underneath the stands in the tunnel, is not approved. So I have sympathy for all players going through this kind of transition, and especially the older players like Max who have not experienced the pitch clock. And these are new rules with the sticky stuff, or at least rules being applied more aggressively. It's not easy. And there are certainly questions from yesterday. Phil Cuzzy, how come he is the only guy who's ever ejected or been part of a crew that ever ejected a pitcher for sticky stuff? But the crew chief, Dan Bellino, was pretty adamant, saying that Max came out the third time, stickier than the first time. So it seems to me this is an unfortunate incident. Can things be done better? Yes, things can always be done better. And I know Max said on the show the other day that he believes these checks should not be taking place publicly. They should be taking place off the field. I've got no problem with that. But at the same time, I just don't know what his case here is because rosin in and of itself is not legal necessarily. It can be, under certain circumstances, illegal.